It's been a quick while since I've done a last update for indoor gardening. First of all, I've had a revolt at home about eating healthy. So things like right here, I have found that I cannot push as much fresh vegetables at home as I wanted to, but we're going to try to get everyone back on a healthier diet. But part of that is not exactly their fault because it's been a busy time. Now, of course, this is not what lettuce is supposed to look like. You know, this small, we could probably just even pull that leaf off because it's not in any condition to eat. A Hope Garden has done well with a few lettuce plants, and this was a great variety. This was romaine. It had done quite well under the 20 or so watt light that is over to the top of it. The peppers on the other side here have been going since October 19th of last year, and they're still producing, but possibly going to pull those. Now, just on a side note, I have been trying to introduce more of the fresh foods into my diet, even though I eat through a lot of fast food drive-thrus. So oftentimes I'll take lettuce leaves and a few peppers and throw onto a sandwich and at least get a little fresh food here and there. I find that diets oftentimes are a series of micro decisions. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and go through some of the other gardens that I have. This was a comparison between two different varieties of romaine lettuce. One was Vivian, one was Jericho. I actually had been growing Vivian quite a bit, but I found that even though Jericho is a little bit more prone to get tip burn, I like the flavor better. It's a little bit more gentle and doesn't have as much coarseness or fibrous leaves on it. Something I've been happy about has been the let pot system that I have right here, 21 sites, and the thing that really amazes me about this is it auto feeds and it auto fills the water that gets used within this garden. And so the reservoir on the side has a tube in it, and it just automatically replaces everything that is needed in here. Now, if I were to wake up this display panel, the first thing that anybody who's perceptive would pick up on is that the growing days have been 19 right now. Now, I don't really think that this is the garden's fault at all. I put in some seeds that were Tom Thumb lettuce. They had not done well for me in some of the AeroGardens, so I'm going to end up replanting and trying to show the benefits of this garden in the near future. While I'm getting some cucumbers still off of these Isnik variety cucumber plants, it is about time to tear this all out and clean it. The cucumbers I've kept cloning. I've been cutting off 8 inches of vines and re-rooting them. And this whole system has been going since November 22nd of last year, so it is about time to replace those. Over here, I have a variety of what's called a parthenocarpic variety of zucchini. It's the Easy Pick Gold 2 and does not need pollinators. And this has been a 16-week test, and I'm about 8 weeks in right now. And the light above it was sent to me from a company called Spider Farmer. It's an SF1000 100-watt grow light. and just seeing how well that this particular grow light does. This is currently going to be extended for a few more weeks and has been a successful project so far. A little bit cursed at first because the first plant that I put in was, let's just say it, I killed it because I did not take out the remaining white vinegar and water solution completely, and it had a much lower pH value than I thought it had. So that was gone. The second plant that was put into this was also the same variety of zucchini, and I found that I had a soldier fly that came in and it was carrying disease and killed the plant. So this is actually the third plant that has been in this 6-gallon Black Magic Grow Pail system. And so I'm hoping to finish off this video series with a successful planting. And what you have here is 3 AeroGarden Sprouts, 10 watts apiece. And the middle one has been used for starting the zucchinis. And I've actually found out that under 10 watts that I could get tiny squash. These 3 AeroGarden Sprouts are my workhorses, even though they're 10 watts apiece. This middle one was used to start out the 3 zucchini plants, and I took out the first one for that prior system, the second one that's currently in there, and the third one is still in this 10 watt system. And it has had some flowers coming up on it, which is surprising for under 10 watts. I have found that I could put one of the Jericho romaine lettuce plants into it and pick off the outer leaves and actually do quite well for a smaller one-person use. I put in a couple of the piccolini cucumbers, and those are parthenocarpic. They produce those tiny seedless cucumbers that you don't have to peel. You can just dip and eat. I've got lots of cleaning, and this AeroGarden Bounty was used for growing some broccoli. I thought that maybe I could start eating baby greens, but look at that. There's roots that are all over. They're sucked into the pump, and I'm going to actually pull everything apart, clean this up, and start to grow something else. I found that the broccoli, even though it's tasty, it's a little bit lanky, gets tall quickly, and the problem that I ran into was it does not produce a lot of leaves in ratio to the stalks, and so not exactly my favorite plant for doing baby greens. And this is the graveyard. This happens to be where some of the gardens that I've been using go to die or be sold off. And the first one is the 21 site let pot, the first one, and the display wasn't working correctly, the controller, but the company is very responsive. They sent me a brand new unit, and the older unit that does not have the display working quite correctly, the controller, I can continue to use. It's a 36 actual watt light, and I could manually refill without having it autofill. And the garden in the back, let me see if I could pull that out, is a Mars Hydro unit. And the Mars Hydro unit, I did find that because they use a setting where the light hood goes up a little high, that it doesn't go quite far enough low to start plants out. But if you like to clone and you start out with a little bit larger cutting, or if you transplant into this system, it's not too bad. You could actually start lettuce in another system, put it into here, and grow it out to maturity. It does have a number of planting sites that look quite well for growing a lot of plants. So when I look at my indoor gardening, one of the things, if you can afford to do it, is to rotate out systems that do not 100% meet your needs. You're going to be much happier if you go to systems with testing that meet 100% of your needs, because you'll be much happier.